everybody? I'm back. It's me, resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington. I'm here with my review for Bad Trip on Netflix. If you have not seen this movie yet, come on back because there will be spoilers. Thank you to everybody who was recently subscribed onto the channel to rock with me with all the reviews from different things I'm talking about, from whether it's trailer reactions, comic book movies and TV shows, regular film, following me from Blurs in the Hood, Mad Titan Podcast. Thank you so much to everybody. I always say this whole YouTube thing is still something unique to me. I'm used to being in front of the camera, whether it's acting, stand up, all that. This whole giving my opinion and people want to hear it. It's humbling. It's very humbling. You know, a lot of people, you know when you're good at something, it's cool, but you can be good at something that people don't want to be bothered with it. So to everybody who rock with your boy and who fucks with me, I appreciate you. Let's get right into it, man. I didn't know too much what to expect. Like, I laughed at the trailers from this, right? I was like, all right, this is a prank show. It's in the vein of, it's a prank movie. It's in the vein of Borat and Bad Grandpa and things like that, where there are pranks mixed in with an actual storyline. And so I was like, okay, cool. Eric Andre is, I watched this show, and there's times I was like, I don't know if I can get into it. I get what it's supposed to be. As times I do get into it, it's times I don't. But that, again, that's me personally. But I do understand. The brother's funny. Hung out with him before. Cool dude. Now, Lil Rel, Tiffany, Haddish, friends of mine. Personal friends. Rel is like my big brother in this game. When I started in Chicago and stand-up, Rel was one of the first people that I ran into. I'd watched Rel perform a couple of years before I got into stand-up. Tiffany and I always ran into each other in Chicago and then back out here, and we hung out. We hang out at the Laugh Factory during the holidays and giving out dinners to needy families during Christmas and Thanksgiving, etc., etc. So, of course, I'm going to always support my peoples. And so when I watched this, I was like, all right, let's see. And I laughed my ass off. The beauty of catching people, the natural reactions to pranks, is there's certain things you can look at you like, that ain't made up, that ain't set up, that ain't fake. The Eric Andre getting assaulted by the gorilla in the zoo. What? First of all, black women have the best reactions ever because it's from the soul. It ain't from the heart, it's from the soul. And to watch the black women like, oh my God, because it's just stuck, they don't know what to do. Or when you go earlier in the movie and Eric Andre's Chris is working as the dude in the juice bar and he's putting this shit in with his hands, and then he meets Maria, comes back into his life, and then when he puts his hand in the blender and people are like, what the fuck? They start freaking out. Then to do the flash mob out in the mall, all that, just the shit that him and Rail do together as a duo is phenomenal. And in the scene when Tiffany Haddish escapes from prison, per se, it went viral, like when they were filming it. And so to see it play out, and the dude who's like, I guess he either doing community service or he working, he look at her like, you better go the fuck on that way, you just go. Like, he tried to help her without directly helping her. It's just so much in natural reactions. But the part with black women, and I love us, there are two main parts for me. They go to a diner, and Tiffany Haddish go in a diner, and she got this flyer made up with a picture of Eric Andre's character Chris and Lil Rel's Bud, and she like, yo, what these motherfuckers at? Y'all seen these motherfuckers? When I find out, I'm gonna shoot these niggas, and all that. She going hard. And so it was a bunch of black men and women. It's a mixed vibe in the cafe, but mainly black people. And black was like, that girl ain't playing. You see, she got teachers. She gonna kill niggas. And then Chris and Bud come in there. They like, this one, like, I know that's them. I don't forget nothing. I go into school with the police. I said, what? Because again, this is shit you can't make up. This is shit you catch in its natural glory. And with prank shows, and I know we've almost become desensitized to pranks. And I say that because of, we watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, TikTok, and whatever, Instagram. And many times when we see these pranks, we can see the lack of authenticity. We can see how it looked. They completely are set up and everything. You can see how it's like, oh yeah, that's an actor and that's somebody else who knew and blah, 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 and all this. We see that. And so because of all of those, when you have something like a Bad Trip now, so people will automatically go in and be like, well, everything's just set up. And you don't see that shit at all. The whole cafe and the woman like, yo, you better, Y'all better get y'all asses out of here. These these people are sitting there going hard because then Tiffany Haddish character come back in and all this. There's a part where towards the end, when Eric Andre finally gets to New York and he sees Maria and he confesses his love, and Maria's basically like, nigga, no, that's creepy. Like, Tiffany Haddish chases this dude up to the roof and about to hang him off the roof. There are a bunch of black people eating at a food truck, and one woman, a black woman with a megaphone, Lord Jesus, we need you, Jesus, please. Because again, there's always gonna be a black person that prays, and like that ain't even like a mate. That's like, that's genuine. This is a black woman who's about the Lord and her Bible, and she gonna call on the spirits and the angels, and it's just, it's one black dude like, hey, yo, whatever you did, yo, just fight this nigga. Don't let him fall. And again, you can't buy these type of reactions from people. These are natural shits. There's one part where Chris and Bud fuck up Tiffany Haddish's car. There's a pink car that says bad bitch. And there's a dude who like, hey, bro, y'all just gotta let that shit go. The car go. But this nigga start rolling up after Bud and Chris try to fight. And again, the natural reactions of everything is just phenomenal. But I say all that to say, here's something else. It's weird. It was weird to me at first, and luckily my bro Rail chimed in on Twitter about it. Eric Andre, I can see the world at large, in a sense, black people at large not knowing, because again, Eric Andre does appeal to black people, but there's a certain type. I'm just gonna be honest. But Rail and Tiffany Haddish, Rail literally, because Rail has recently grown out his beard and everything, and for the movie, he was shaven. So Rail looked like Rail in Get Out, like the TSA nigga Rod. And I was like, how does nobody not know it's this nigga? And Tiffany Haddish looks like Tiffany, just with cornrows. And I was like, how is it no one noticed that because they are hella, Rail and Tiffany are hella famous. Yes, to an extent, Eric Andre is as well. But again, I'm not as familiar with Eric Andre's fame reach, if you will. Like, I know him. Like I said, I know he has a massive fan base. But when I say his reach, as opposed to where we're seeing now, we see Rail and Tiffany Haddish summer everywhere. Once Rail did Get Out, Rail was already popping from stand-up, but Get Out, then you had the Carmichael Show, Rail, and et cetera, all the things he's done. Tiffany Haddish, all the shit she's done, her specials, Girls Trip, now winning a Grammy. Congratulations, Tiff, by the way. All these beautiful things, but you see that and you're like, how does nobody know them? And so Rail chimed in on Twitter and told me the pace in which they did it, it didn't allow people a chance to sit back and go, hey, ain't that such and such? It moved so fluidly that no one had a real chance to be like, I think that's such and such, which is cool. Because again, I think with him saying that, it helps out a lot, because you would sit back and think like, yo, if a person has time, and they're looking, they're like, I know him from somewhere. What do I know him from? What do I know her from? And then somebody gonna be like, yo, that look just like, and then you fill the rest in. But to know that's how they did it, and then to show at the end of the movie, they show how after a lot of the pranks, of course, they got to reveal to people that they're on prank show, they're pranked being in a movie on camera, and the people just like, oh my God. Like, there's even one. The one I think is when Tiffany is hanging Eric off the roof, the one where I told you about the black woman with the megaphone. Black people like, yo, don't do this shit. It's a nigga like, yo, ain't you let this nigga down? And then like Eric Andre say something, and somebody, Tiffany had to say something. She's like, I'm from the streets, I'm finna drop this dude. And old boy's like, you was from the streets, you wasn't finna do this shit. You just beat his ass. There is a white woman who goes, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And it's just because the tone flows. Again, you got all the black people showing different things, and then you have one white woman's like, oh my God, in that scene. But there again, throughout the movie, there are various races intertwined. Even a part where Tiffany, after she gets out of jail, she tries to find out about a car. She goes to the dude who Rail and Eric, they paid the impound fees, I'm not mistaken, to get the car out. She goes to get it, and she starts snapping. She's like, yo, I'm gonna kill me, motherfucker, if I got to. She started throwing shit off. The older white guy behind the counter, he just like, oh shit, like he's super calm, but you can tell he's either nervous or, yeah, it's another day person snapping out about some shit I ain't got nothing to do with. It's one of those two. But again, the reactions, the what this is so dope. And I love it for what it is. Again, it's not unique per se because we've seen these type of shows like I brought up earlier. You have a Borat, you have a Jackass, and Bad Grandpa, all that. You have those. You want a Borat was able to do a sequel. You want to see if there's a potentiality for them to be able to do it again. But I think now, I don't think they could do another Bad Trip because it would be more difficult now because again this is on Netflix and you went to smaller towns in many situations where a lot of people wouldn't possibly know you, but I think now it'd be more widespread. But either way it go, I laughed my ass off through this. I thought it was hysterical. I think everything was done well. The level to which they did the prank, they did a part where Eric Andre and Lil Real are caught in a Chinese finger trap and they're caught via their dicks. They use prosthetic penises, of course. And it's one part where they show during the outtakes, Real like, hey, don't you think we should put a towel over this shit when we not filming? And Eric out there like, well, it's a buddy movie. But the chemistry the two of them have, the three of them, excuse me, Rail, Tiffany, and Eric, the chemistry the three of them have, everything they put together made this shit just amazing. If you have not seen it yet, I highly recommend you check it out. Vibe yourself out. You're going to laugh. You're going to be like, yo, this shit can't be real. Because you're going to have those moments again, like I said earlier, we become so desensitized, if you will, because of what we see on Instagram, TikTok, and stuff like that. So check it out, so you probably get a hearty laugh out of it. But if you've seen it, I want to know your thoughts in those comments below. I keep the conversation civil as the discourse goes. Also, while you're here, like this video, share it to your peoples, and subscribe to the channel, man. Come on, let's grow these numbers up. I guess that's something I'm supposed to do. Like, hey, we need to get these numbers up. All right, bet. But also, follow me over on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. Check out Blurs in the Hood every Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. on the East, 5 p.m. on the East Coast, with myself and my brother, my co-host, Mr. Winston A. Marshall. We get you caught up in the world of pop culture, entertainment, sports, news, comic book shit, and a whole lot more from a Blurred's perspective, and we are unapologetically black. Also, the Mad Titan podcast, that's my baby. It is back. Everywhere you get your podcast from, I get you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes. It is barbershop talk for nerds, so come on in that convo, all right? Stay tuned here. There's so much more coming. I will holler at y'all later. Take care. I'm out.